All right, campers, gather around. Now, today you are not going to learn how to roast marshmallows. Instead, we're going to talk about detangling demos. I have two of my very close friends here. No one was actually supposed to be doing an introduction. I just bust in here like, let's introduce them. Let's screw things up. All right, so leading us down the trail, we have Allie McCarron, former educator, post-COVID did the Salesforce boom that I did and changed careers. So she dealt with 12-year-olds and now she does with salespeople. So she's overly qualified for the job. Thank you, Allie. And then we have our partner here, Tyler Scott. He's a Salesforce developer. They are both consultants at Kelly Austin, working together, and they did this together. And at least one of them is a dungeon master, which, if you know, you know. They're going to get into this game for us today. Highly participatory. Give them a big round of applause. They're going to teach us how to keep those gremlins at bay during our demos. Thank you, Allie and Tyler.
Thank you. All right. Good morning and welcome to Detangling Demos. So before we dive in, we do want to give a huge shout out to the many sponsors of Mile High Dream in 2025. If you haven't had a chance to interact with them out on the hallways, be sure to go and say hello to everybody.
Although Emily already gave us a wonderful introduction, thank you for that, you're probably still wondering who these two weirdos at the front are. As you've already heard, I'm Allie McCarron, Senior Consultant at Kelly Austin.
And my name is Tyler Scott, also a consultant with Kelly Austin.
So a little bit about us. We're partners in travel, we're partners in curiosity, general adventure, and we're just a couple of nerds here to have fun and help you learn a little bit too. So, we've got our QR codes for our LinkedIn if you want to connect with us. So please feel free. We'd love to chat with you, whether there or in the halls. And we've been on this journey for a little while now, and I'm ready to get started. How about you?
Let's do it.
All right. So, disclaimer I gave you before, this is a very, very interactive session. We are not here to be the be-all, end-all on this topic. Look around you, get ready to make some friends. We're here to help you leave with some tips at the end of this session today, but we also want you to get connected to a greater network of professionals who have had experiences and have experience that we haven't had a chance to have yet, or maybe we never will have. So take a moment, make sure that you have a handout, something to write with, and make sure that there's dice on your table. Don't touch them yet, though. I will say we do definitely want these dice back because our friend, the Dice Goblin, definitely is going to want them back.
All right. So this first section's a little meaty, so bear with us. The handout provided contains our notes in case you want to review it later. So these are free for you to hang on to. Today, we're going to cover the who's and what's of what we've discovered that can form the recipe for a successful demo. In addition, we also want to shine a light on some of the challenges you're going to come across in the life cycle of these demo presentations. Also, how to address them with grace and professionalism.
So, demo. In the course of a Salesforce career, those could come in many forms, and they could also appear both expectedly and unexpectedly during all seasons of your Salesforce career. For example, you might decide to build a demo or be in a demo jam to help round out your portfolio for interviews. You might even be asked to do, say, a build-in demo as part of the interview process for a company.
And once you do get your job, you might be creating product or feature demos for clients as well. You might even become a product owner and demo new features to colleagues in your own company. This comes up all the time. The point is, anyone in our field can be expected to demo at some point in their career journey. And keeping those skills sharp is only going to benefit you. So Allie, what does success look like in a demo?
The list is a long one, but probably wouldn't fill a bag of holding. But I would say that setting expectations, clearly communicating with your stakeholders, actively listening to feedback, and also asking thoughtful questions are definitely major parts of that list. But Tyler, what could cause a demo to fail?
That's an even longer list. Not practicing before the demo, not planning ahead what could possibly go wrong. These could all tank a client's confidence in you, even if the build is solid and the features are super sharp. But this is a pretty short list. What have you all encountered in your journeys? So here's where we start getting together. In a group of 4, you'll stick with this team, your new party, until the end of this session. So take a minute, brainstorm at least 3 other things that could go or might have gone wrong in the past for you, and discuss these for the next couple of minutes. So find your party, get together, and what have you seen? What are you afraid of in your demos? Go.
If you hear great ideas, write them down. And that's time.
All right. Hopefully we all had some good discussions getting started this morning. So, for our pre-demo strategies, planning ahead of time, let's start with the old King Scar's motto, also used by the Boy Scouts, be prepared. So, in our experience, we found that knowing your audience can really be the foundation of a solid demo. Who's going to show up? Who's going to ask that really weird question you weren't really expecting? And who's going to be the one picking apart your build? That leads to level setting, which can take many forms, such as letting your audience know clearly ahead of time what will and will not be discussed in the current demo. Having a digital parking lot to park questions that come up along the demo can also be a great tool to keep things on track, we found. And finally, having a general script to follow keeps things moving along from start to finish, and for those of us who get a little nervous and start to ramble, I'm totally guilty of that myself, it helps keep us on track. So, turn and again discuss with your team, what does knowing the audience mean in the context of preparing for a demo for you? We'll give you about 90 seconds to discuss.
Go. And time. Rehearsal's over, and now it's time for the show to begin. This is where preparation can lead to successfully pivoting in the moment. It can be really difficult to pick up speed again once you start to get derailed. If you are alone, as Tyler mentioned, having that script to fall back on can really help. And there are ways, if you're on a video call, to hide the script from being seen. Less so in a situation like this, but it's still helpful. But how do you deal with the unexpected actions and reactions coming from your audience? Or even worse, when your tech decides to go on vacation. You've rolled a critical one. First off, do your best to record what's going on, whether that's a designated note taker, could be a person, could be AI, or just pressing that record button. A note on AI, though, ask what's whitelisted from the side of your audience and stick to it just for your own safety and security. Next, have a plan B for when the tech goes out. This could look like maybe having some backup slides to fall back on, maybe recording some Loom demos that you can show them in the moment if you need to. It could also be moving to a different part of the demo temporarily and coming back when things decide to behave themselves. Then respect everybody's time. You're here for a purpose, and their time is just as important as yours. It can be very nerve-wracking to have an eye on the clock, but you can also use it to steer your conversations. If things are kind of going long, maybe take a stretch break for 5 minutes. Plan that if the call's more than an hour, hour and a half. If the call is kind of getting short and you know you're not going to cover everything in the remaining time, call a stop. Ask your stakeholders what they want to see in the remaining time and have a plan for what you're going to do to make up what they didn't get a chance to see. Finally, if someone's on that call, chances are they want to have a voice. If possible, try to discourage that single dominating voice and encourage those who may be hanging back a little bit and you know are going to be using the system to speak up. Take a moment to ponder these ideas with your teammates. What tools have you used that might supplement the ideas we've provided? 90 seconds, go. Time.
All right, so next stage. You've made it. Your demo's complete. We can all go home now, right?
What? No, there's still things left to do.
All right, it's good to have some follow-up tasks as well. So once that meeting is wrapped up, whether it went well or sometimes not so well, you need to review what happened. The notes, the questions, the comments that came up. Everything. And ideally, you can do this as soon as possible while everything is still fresh on your mind. After the review, whether by yourself or with your team, maybe AI if you need to, start executing the next logical steps. Send a follow-up to your audience, briefly reviewing the main points and any action items. If necessary, open the conversation for starting that next conversation, the next demo, getting that back on the calendar so you doesn't roll off. And if you do have another upcoming demo, start thinking about how to weave any of those improvements based on the feedback you received. It really showcases your attention to detail where you can get those quick wins from that feedback provided in the first demo. And if this is potentially an interview, ask your audience for feedback so you can improve that next time, especially if you weren't able to record the session, which sometimes that didn't allow for. So, turn to your team. What happens if you skip these steps? What would you add to this list that we forgot to? 90 seconds to discuss with your team.
And time.
Well, then they'll get answered at 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, there you go.
Time for the real fun to begin. Make sure you have your hand out, and I'm sure some of you have peeked already. Look inside.
Character sheets.
We definitely wanted you to build a character, but there wasn't going to be time. So on the right side, you have a list of character classes. Take a moment in your group of 4, and yes, we are going to strictly ask that you be in a group of 4 or 3 if you must. Read over those character classes and their special abilities. Pick one, and it does not have to reflect who you are as a current Salesforce professional. Each one of these character classes has a value. Please note that every character special ability can only be used once during the course of the entire game. So between now and the end, you can only use it once. So be thinking about that. Make a note next to the character class you'd like to do or play today, and take a moment to chat with your group. I'll give you about 30 seconds to decide who wants to play what. Go.
Unfortunately, barbarians and wizards did not make the cut today.
No, they didn't. Not this time. Version 2. And that's time. Everybody got your class picked out? You've marked it? Good to go? So it is now time to get ready to play. It's also time for me to put on my demo master hat.
All right, so the ultimate goal of this exercise is to provide a safe space to practice the roller coaster of emotions that you tend to come across in a demo scenario. The more we practice, the more it'll eventually become more natural to pivot and handle whatever situation comes up. So let's cast the scene. You are a group of adventurous Salesforce professionals responsible for an org rebuild at Sword Coast Incorporated, large trade conglomerate. After 4 weeks of intense discovery and another month of build, you're called to provide your first demo. Because you're located across the country, your stakeholders thought it best to provide this demo online using a tool like Google Meet. So, as each of you had a part in the build, so too will you be responsible for showing each of your contributions.
All right, on your call, you're going to have 3 stakeholders. Here's what you already know about them. Serena, the CEO, initially hired your team for this build because of your excellent ratings and reviews on the Salesforce App Exchange, naturally. She noticed several bottlenecks in the sales processes at Sword Coast, and she really needs to have this rebuild good to go by her next shareholder meeting in 2 months. Claude, the head of IT management, is a no-nonsense individual who knows their stuff when it comes to tech, but admittedly has a bit of a blind spot when it comes to Salesforce. They agreed with Serena to bring in an external team and works to provide you with everything that you need. Finally, Marcus, your friendly neighborhood internal admin, has been tasked with assisting your team with some of the deliverables that require more in-house knowledge. He's expected to provide that first line of defense when it comes to code, automations, and general quality assurance.
All right, so our first demo begins with Serena, the leader of Sword Coast Incorporated. This is what we're calling our stakeholder slide. So what you're going to do next is, as a group, roll the dice. We don't always have control over what's going to happen during a demo, and this is going to simulate some of that randomness. So next, your team will discuss how to handle whatever topic or issue matches the value of your role. So for example, if I rolled an 11, which falls between 9 and 12, our group is going to talk about the third topic on the list. If you chose the intrepid interviewer class, you also have the opportunity to use your special ability at this time to redirect the conversation. If you have another question you'd like the team to discuss, you can use this opportunity. So as long as it has something to do with demos, ideally. So roll your dice as a group and start the discussion. You have 1 minute.
Go.
May the dice ever be in your favor.
And that's time.
The idea being, when you get these situations thrown at you randomly, how do you pivot? How do you think creatively and work together as a team?
Ready, Tyler?
Yes, I think we're ready.
Did I skip ahead?
Nope. Oh, no, we're totally on the right one. All right. So, our next feature. Claude has questions. Your demo continues, having smoothed over any starting wrinkles brought on by Serena. The team, logged in as a standard sales user, shows how some of the processes can be followed with greater attention to detail using features like lead conversion, validation rules to protect the data integrity, as well as and these were a large requirement by Serena, so these are important to her. In general, Claude supports your work, but they do have some questions on how best to proceed with your build. After seeing Claude make some ponderous faces on the camera, you pause and ask for feedback naturally. So, roll your dice as a team and find out what their concerns are.
And discuss.
And discuss for the next minute.
1 minute. And that's time. Uh-oh. Monster attack. This is going to go a little bit differently. This is what we call an encounter slide. The rules are a bit different. And you have to pick up the pace so that you don't lose the attention and confidence of your stakeholders. So first things first, take a look at the monster's health. We've got a 15. Record it on the monster health tracker on your sheet. You'll find it on the bottom left. Each player is going to take turns attacking. Start with the player that has the next birthday on the calendar, so maybe September or October, and then go clockwise. An attack has 3 steps. Describe, roll, and apply damage. If I'm going first, I see that I need to provide a solution to the problem on the slide, which in this case is, what do we do if somebody's Wi-Fi dies? So I'll briefly explain my solution, brief being the key word, then roll my dice to see how much damage I do to these gremlins. So if I roll a 5, subtract 5 from 15, I'm down to 10, and now it's time for the next player. So the cycle is going to repeat until the monster's health reaches 0 or below. Remember that you might have a special ability that you might want to use only one time to help defeat the monster. You might be asking, hey, what if I really make a bad roll, but I had a good idea? Honestly, that's kind of reflecting reality in the sense that even though your idea may be sound, it may not be as effective in this particular circumstance or with this set of stakeholders or audience. So keep that in mind. You have 1 minute to defeat the monster. Go. Took it down? Congrats. Sometimes that's how it happens. Oh, a 20. Nicely done. Nicely done. And that is time.
All right, nicely done, everyone. So, now that we were able to get Wi-Fi rolling back and a solution forward, we're going to go ahead and move forward with the next question from Marcus, because those Wi-Fi gremlins do sneak up on us. But we're back in business. But for some reason, Marcus seems to have a sour look on his face. Seems the brief intermission got his brain rolling around, and now he's thinking. He wants to take the reins on this meeting. So, how do you bring things back on track? Take a minute, roll as a team, and find out how to derail Marcus and keep things moving forward.
Go. And that's time. Turns out Sword Coast Incorporated has a few more surprises for you during this demo. Because, well, if my clicker works. Oh, there it goes. Who's this guy? He wasn't on your list. A new stakeholder, has arrived because he wants in the Salesforce rebuild too. This is Kai from marketing. He's heard a lot about the work you've done, and while unexpected, this show must go on. He's got a lot of questions, so roll to see what he's asking you right now and how you will keep things moving. 1 minute, go.
All right, great job, everybody. Time for a breather. You've
Take a
completed you've completed your first demo. How did it go for everybody? Hopefully well. So, to continue our narrative, 2 weeks have passed since your first adventure, and you've incorporated the relevant feedback from your stakeholders into your new build stage. You've managed to push back on both scope creep and anything that actually fell outside of the contract as well. Communication has been a little spotty, though, as it is the end of the sales quarter for Source Codes. And as a result, you're not really sure how to keep the momentum up from the client side. So, now it's time for our second demo with Cloud Codes. Come hell or high water, and with Sword Coast Incorporated, either option is likely as either.
All right. So, oops, skipped ahead. All right, here's how the stakeholders currently stand on the build. Kai appreciated that your team was willing to negotiate some changes to incorporate marketing a little bit more. However, despite his enthusiasm, he is still trying to take over. Claude thought highly of your build, but he's also worried about office politics and budgetary constraints, and they've actually had conversations with the executive lead that's managing your team, but you don't know what those calls have been about. Finally, Marcus told you before today's meeting he was too busy to be of much help the past 2 weeks. Little Birdie told you he was apparently on a 2-week extended jungle vacation in Chult. And we're not sure if he's actually back yet. Mentally, physically, who knows? And we're actually going to skip this slide for the sake of time and go straight to Kai because in true Kai fashion, turns out Serena's away and he wants to have a bigger voice. Not surprisingly, based on his previous dramatic entrance, he's vying for your attention, stopping you in the middle of discussing a critical validation rule that, he just wants more. So his heart's in the right place. He clearly wants his team to be able to succeed with the new Salesforce enhancements. But do you have time for this right now? Go ahead and roll and see what you can do about it. 1 minute. Time.
Excellent. Hopefully everybody came up with some good solutions for this. However, I think it's time for the next encounter. You've just saved the record and expected a quick background update from a flow, but you're stuck with a dreaded loading screen for more than a full minute. That never happens, right? Right in the middle of your demo? So, a reminder of the rules is on the slides if you need it, and you might still have special abilities on your team. Don't forget to use those. You have 1 minute to address this. What happens when you're stuck with that dreaded loading screen?
Go.
Pay attention. We do have a higher monster health on this one, so you're going to have to think quick.
3, 2, 1. Time's up.
All right. Hopefully you had some great ideas coming out of that. So, with just 5 minutes to spare with the remaining demo time, you're at the top of the hour, and right at the end, you realize Claude has been unusually silent today. So one of you notices, and you reach out, asking, well, what's on your mind? And they throw this curveball at you. How do you handle questions like this with grace while staying within your lane professionally? Roll, see what the question is, and discuss with your team. You've got 1 minute.
Go. Hopefully it's over, right? Final encounter. Claude wasn't pleased by your professional deflection, and they sit back with a nod and look about to say something when you hear a roar. What? Well, it wouldn't be Sword Coast Incorporated without a few unexpected encounters. But for Baldur's sake, you got up super early for this demo and haven't even had your coffee yet. Before you can reach for your metaphorical sword and shield, our gargantuan beast nearly leaps from the screen, waiting to present to you with a final test. I am the guardian of Sword Coast security. I demand to know how you puny adventurers hope to protect this org and its data from privacy breaches. This time, because notice it has 65 health, you will have 3 minutes on the clock, exactly the amount of time left in your demo hour, to defeat the demo dragon and the problem it presents to your team. Who will survive and who will be lost unending nexus of the interwebs. You've trained for this. Here's hoping you have a special ability or two left up your sleeve. Forward, adventurers. 3 minutes to victory. Go. 3, 2, 1, time.
All right, congratulations. We made it to the end. How many teams were able to come up with creative solutions and defeat the demo dragon? Awesome.
Very nice.
Well done. So, as promised, we did want to have a chance to collect some of the cool ideas you heard about today. So, if we don't have a chance to share all of them, we do encourage you to use the QR code on screen. This will be going to a survey, I believe we set up. Google survey. And so we're going to actually plan on posting that full list via LinkedIn on Allie's profile as well. So keep posted for that.
With just a minute left, I want to be respectful of everybody's time. So be sure you take that QR code, write down at least one idea that you heard today, whether it's your own or somebody else's. We definitely want to make this a large list that we can share with the greater Salesforce community. And aside from that, we really appreciate your participation, enthusiasm, and all of the ideas that we heard generated today. And who knows, if you liked this game, let us know on that survey as well. There may be a version 2 in the works for the future. We want to thank our camera crew. Thank you very much. Our volunteers and everybody who helped make this session possible today. Thank you so much. We appreciate being here.
Thank you.